Hey, Mum and Dad, I put the video on an aeroplane. I don't know whether you can hear that, but the aeroplane comes over. So I've put together this yoga for digestion. Hopefully this should be about an hour for you and Mum to do as part of my course. Yeah, so I just got a few things that I want you to get ready. You don't need a dog. I've got this chair here that you can just see poking into the screen. This could be your sofa, and we might use it, we might not. I'm just going to give you some alternatives. But so you could set yourself up by like, so your feet are probably about that far away from the sofa. However, if that doesn't work in the living room, then don't worry about it, because we can always just get up and move towards the sofa at any point. Some things you are going to need is something to lie on the floor, a yoga mat or a couple of yoga mats. A blanket would be useful, even if it's just a small one, or even just a bathroom towel would be good, that we can place underneath our head or underneath our knees if we come up. I've taken into account you know, both diarrhea and diverticulitis and tendency to hemorrhoids in this, and it's also quite good as just a general practice for general gut health and good digestion. So don't feel as though, like, if you're not, you know, if you don't have diarrhea, this is not the class for you. This is really good just as a general practice. Also, what I've got here is I've got a bolster, but I know you don't have any of these, so but quite a big cushion would be good. I've got something about this size, although actually this is a little skinny. If you've got something a little bit broader than that, or two like this size would be good. But or whatever you have, it really it's not super important. But if you've got them, it's nice to have them. So we're going to get started. Just make sure you're nice and warm, that you're layered up, so that if you do get cold or hot, you can kind of put on or take off, because there will be parts of the practice that are more active than others, and I have no idea how warm the living room is at the moment. So when you're ready and you've got all of those things, and feel free to press pause and then come back on again. Yeah, we'll get started. So going to, Basil's got the idea, you're going to just lie on the floor. So I'm going to take this bolster away for now, and I've got a blanket which is going to be close by, because depending on how your head finds the floor, you might want to take that underneath your head. So if you've got if it feels like your chin is too far back, if your chin is too far lifted, your head is too far back, at any point put a little blanket underneath it. We just want to create a neutral neck spine, and for that I mean that when your thumb is in your chest, on your sternum, I'll come a bit closer so you can see that when your thumb is here, that your index finger is on your chin. So this would be a flexed neck spine, and this would be an extended. So if you're feeling you're extended when you come down, by putting a blanket underneath the head, we come towards that kind of, I know, the set square hand, which we call neutral neck. So the neck is doing nothing, just gently lifting it up. And as we lift up here, then we help lift up the whole digestive system, the breathing apparatus, the diaphragm, and all the gubbins, all the bits and pieces of the belly that sit within. So let's come down and get started. So we're going to lie on the floor, and you can have socks on, or you can take them off, just making sure you're nice and warm and comfy clothes, and then coming all the way down onto the floor, and just beginning to again decide if it feels nice to have a blanket or not. And we're going to call this constructive rest pose. So the feet are as wide as the hips, so you have space into that pelvic bowl, and this idea of the pelvis. And the elbows are just gently dropping, maybe taking the arms out to the sides just for a moment. And then we just take the head from side to side, just gently gliding the right ear towards the floor and the left ear towards the floor. Again, In this practice, there's nowhere you need to be. It's not about being the best that you can. It's not about being kind of trying to force any poses. Just about being here and happy to explore your own body today and see how it feels. Make any adjustments to the shoulders. Sometimes those shoulder blades get a little bit kind of pinched up towards the mid-spine. And then can we think about diaphragmatic breathing through the nose if that's available, and out through the nose if that's available. So I like to bring my hands, elbows really supported by the floor, onto the ribs with my thumbs facing downwards. And just beginning to breathe into the sides of your ribs. So we're going to breathe into the sides of the ribs. So we're sending the ribs out to the side. It's like we're making the body wider. Fully letting the mouth and the teeth release. Letting go of the jaw. The eyes become soft. As we fully feel the volume of the ribs. Moving sides into the thumbs, into the hands. Or if your arms are by the sides, which is also lovely, almost think as though you're breathing your ribs into the area of the upper arm, the area of the inside of the upper arm. And begin to notice the process of our yoga practice today is one about noticing, not about judging if it feels stiff or tight and saying, oh, that's wrong. Just bringing it all in and bringing any pain or discomfort or anything that you find, just be, again, like that curious nature about it. And don't worry if your body goes off and does something quite natural to what I'm saying, as long as that's not going off to make a cup of tea. But if you need to leave to go to the loo or, have a call of nature, then so be it. But feel free to come back straight away and try and complete this whole practice in the hour. Maybe become aware of the rise and fall of the belly and the ribs, sound of the breath. And maybe you begin to notice things external to the room, the sounds of the birds outside, or the wind on the trees. And all of these and the sounds of nature or sounds of life become part of this yoga practice today, without judgment, without, again, what we call this dualistic, this right or wrong, just letting everything just be, without the good or the bad. As we continue to breathe deeply, this deep diaphragmatic breathing is really intensely important for all of our practice, all of our life. Just this, giving this space and massage to the esophagus and that windpipe comes down into the area of the lungs and the diaphragm, our breathing apparatus, and also beneath this we have the stomach and the liver, and the big, these hosepipe type
gatherings, churning of these yards, the full 9 yards of your digestive tract, living in the fullness of the belly. And by getting this diaphragm really moving up and down, really extending to this parachute, kind of rising and falling in your belly, is internally massaging those organs, bringing in this sense of just as if a tight muscle was, muscle was tight, that we would massage it to bring relief. We're doing this internally with the breath. So don't feel you need to rush it, or if you're forcing it and it's growing up into the collarbones, the shoulders and the jaw, can you back away from it a little bit, be a bit kinder, being a bit gentler. And then keeping this breath long and lucid as we begin again just to move the head from side to side. Just beginning to find that little rocking of the head, a softening of the skull. There's a lot of tension that sits within the skull. There's tension again that sits within the jaw. And then the same thing draws itself into the muscles of the neck. And then the muscles of the front line of the body. And again, this is all connected, be that internally with our internal muscles and organs, or externally, all connected to this sense of stress, which is often what's holding it, which is where these digestive issues come along. This is seen as kind of a registic or a very fire-based way of living. And if we move fast and if we get things done, or we have stress and we need to kind of get things done now, then this all holds itself as like a fire, as a tension in the belly. So just keep bringing the head to center, and either with the eyes closed or beginning to open the eyes, can we just begin to roll through the sides of the feet, in turn just gently rocking the knees one way and the other. And you feel this on the floor, the bony bits of where your bottom meet your back. We call this the sacrum, part of your pelvis, part of your spine. And what we do here is we just massage in through these bony parts of the sacrum. So your feet are just hip distance apart, haven't really moved. And the knees just rock 5 or 10 degrees over to one side. And then straight away take them back, little movements, getting ever increasingly bigger as we begin to move towards the left or towards the right, or in my case towards the floor on my right and towards the dog on my left. It's like a natural cushion. And again, we can take a cushion underneath the knees if we'd like to stop there for a while, for a breath or two. And then bringing again that back to the other side. Again, noticing how it stretches through the legs, stretches through the front of the abdomen. Sorry, Basil. And Basil's just put his head on my knee, and it's a really nice reminder of how, when we take our hands onto our belly, and you can do this now, just take your hands onto your belly, just and feel the warmth of your hands, like the sense of touch is a very healing sense, and just maybe just taking the hands onto the belly and, maybe giving thanks to your belly, or just as you would pet a dog or a small child to say everything's okay and I love you. We can just again rub the belly very gently and just just keep the hands on it, just sending that heat down into the belly, as if to say, all is well, I love you. That's fine, we love our belly and it does so much for us. So when we have these little bouts of, stomach upset, tell ourselves that it's alright, it's fine. I will help you heal by keeping my mind and still, being in the mind still helps to take the stress away from the body. And stress away from the body is just in general good for our health, because it draws us into the nervous system of rest and digest. If we're constantly on the go, we're constantly in the what we call the sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight, flight or freeze, which is the getting things done, the overly active. Not that there's anything wrong with being active, but we have to take our time, balance it out. When you feel ready to, just beginning to draw your left foot to the floor, really feeling the foot on the floor. Both knees are up towards the sky. Can we bring the right knee up, and then maybe we just take that little windscreen wipe of the knee from side to side there. Hands can hold onto the legs, they can be on the floor, they can remain on the belly if that feels nice even. And then taking again just the knee out to side, can we begin to make a little circle, just one or two, and then draw that knee in. Maybe your hands can come and hold on to the knee, and if it feels it's too far away, you can take a towel or a dressing gown cord or some kind of soft belt, a tea towel would do it, and just wrap that over the knee until you can help draw that knee in very gently, just letting the weight of the leg itself draw into the body. And then letting that foot come down, and let's again press down into the foot, so the foot is an engagement of the right foot, so that we lift the left foot up without too much drawing of into the core, too much belly work. We just gently slide and glide. Although this class has a focus on the digestive self, of course we're moving through the muscles of the legs, the muscles of the abdomen, the shoulders, so the benefits are unanimous in this body. Maybe we take that into a little circle and the other way, and then maybe we find that we can take the hands down the thigh, roll over the knee, and find the shin bone, and without effort, without too much force. So we're not trying to squeeze the elbows down, we're just letting the weight of that leg and gravity in the arm, making sure that the head doesn't come off the floor. It may come off the floor to reach up and find that knee, but making sure that as you come down you fully release the belly again. And then again, can we draw little circles with the knee, and then find a stillness of just dropping in. So gravity is maybe increasing. It's definitely not, but maybe we can feel that as we let go, as we close off the eyes and begin to think about the mass, the weight of that leg. Again, drawing us in towards it, almost like a little half squat position. Squat position that so many of so many in the Western world, we've lost this ability to squat because of chairs. We spend so much time seated. And then let's invite the other leg in, and if we can interlace the fingers over the shins and drop through the elbows, that's nice. Or even equally, just holding the shin bones or the knees or wherever we can find in towards us. And just making sure that we're not arching the lower back, so that we've got the tailbone, the knees drawing in is drawing the tailbone down, so the lower arch of the back feels very supported. And again, we rock the knees from side to side, opening up the space in the sacrum, which is at this point in the sacrum that we've already been to today. It's where the digestive system, or the beginning of the large intestine is adhered to. So this is a connection from bone to organ. You see, those organs aren't freely floating in a vacuum in your body. They're all mushed up together in the nicest possible description, supported each other, I could say. And again, for me, we're going to take the hands onto the knees and just begin to wind through the knees. Rotate through the knees here. Just again, really soft exploratory movements. Taking them small or big. And let's just stay in one direction for a moment or two. And then maybe explore how that feels the other side, not overly using the tummy muscles. Again, feeling how the floor finds the earth. Keep reminding ourselves to soften the jaw and the teeth and the tongue. Still finding that length in your exhale and a quality of your inhale breath, so we're not taking small, short breaths, but elongating them, really feeling how the breath works. You're going to do the same thing again, adding a little bit more intensity to it. So we're going to take the fingers around the right shin bone and then draw the left foot down, and only if that feels comfortable can we slide that leg away. So we begin to open up in the hips, releasing through the hip flexors, or in particular the psoas muscle, the muscle that connects the back to the legs. So stabilizing muscle of the body to the leg body. And so we slide that left leg away, and we can point the toes, or we can maybe circle the left ankle there, and maybe circle the right ankle too. Maybe that feels nice. So we soften the elbows into the floor. And then let's slide, really carefully slide the left foot back to a bent knee. Notice how that changes through the back of the head, so we might need to adjust through the body. And let's take that left leg up to the sky into a light inversion here, an inversion where the body starts to pump blood around itself differently, because the body is the head is not higher than the heart. So we're just lifting that one leg to the sky, and let's again find a movement in the ankles, and coming to the idea of that squatting position. To squat is really great digestively. It's just really great all over, to be honest, but finding a movement in the inner feet. So we're just circling through that left leg, or the left foot even, to be more precise, and the other way. And it's chilly in here, so I've got my socks on, but feel free to have bare feet as well if that feels nice, especially if you've got nice toes. Sending ourselves that love. And then bringing that left leg down and sending the right leg down. And maybe just again that little gentle rock from side to side again. Nothing too extreme. And then let's take that on the other side. So gently invite the left knee in and slide the hands down the thigh, down the shins, until, if we can, interlace them, or take your dressing gown cord again, let go of the belly. Feeling the floor and the earth meet each other, draw together. Maybe a little rock comes in and that feels nice on the body. We feel not only the back, but the mid-body and the front of the belly. We can slide this right leg, drawing this right heel away. Again, it's not an engagement of the muscles to be 10 out of 10. We don't have to feel we're fully stretching. We shouldn't feel that we're fully stretching. Can we just think about finding, activating gently the right thighs towards the floor, and then just backing it off a little, finding the inner thighs. Maybe finding my water bottle there, and finding a rotation in the foot. So we're going to take a movement in the foot, and then sliding that heel up, We're going to bring that right leg to the sky, perpendicular 90 degrees to the floor, and now we can properly rotate that ankle without restriction of the floor. We can rotate both ankles together. And then sit still. Sit deep into the stillness. Be still. Let the body draw heavy and down. We call this in yoga the apana vayu, a downward energy. We normally see this of a drawing down through the back body in complete contrast and opposite to the prana body, which is an inward upward wind. And then let's bring that right knee in, and again drawing both knees down. Holding onto the shins, making sure that the jaw and the throat are soft, the shoulders are soft, the shoulder blades in the back body have no tension or rippling in that's bringing your attention to them. Breathing in and breathing out. And then we're going to move into happy baby. So I'm going to take this one leg at a time, but can we hold behind the back of the knee joint and then slowly begin to take the left leg away, and we may be able to then slide and either hold onto your leggings. I'm going to take my socks off at this bit, or hold onto your big toe, or you can take a strap around your foot, or you can just hold onto the foot and begin to draw that knee out to the side, kind of towards the armpit, towards the outside. If this feels too much, you can probably won't feel too much with the knee bent. If you want a bit more, you can straighten the leg a little, or draw the little toe edge of your left foot away so the knee folds out. We can begin to bring a little rock here, again another little rock. And then if it feels lovely and is available, you can pick up both legs, or you can draw this right foot down, slowly ease and find the left leg, slide the right leg away. So just take a few moments doing what feels right. If you're taking this one-legged, you can just massage into the legs here, getting the lymph going, which is in these hip creases. And we can just begin to, again, just massage the legs, take in that one-legged happy baby, blissful baby. And maybe if it feels good and it feels nice, we can pick up that leg, hold the toes, so you can hold your clothes, or even hold the backs of the knees if this isn't feeling, if you're just, if it's a while since you've done any yoga and this is just not available today. And then can we hold on to the knees, or the toes, or the ankles, and just begin to rock our happy baby here. Rocking from side to side. And don't worry if you rock too far over, we can just rock back again. Maybe we want to think of straightening one leg and the other. Seeing how that feels in the body. Awakening the tissues of the body. Oh, sorry, Basil. Out the way, please. It's looking very dark in here. I'm just going to reposition the camera. And then from happy baby, taking your right foot to the floor and the left leg to the sky. Move out the way, please, doggy. Can we slowly begin to bend the knees and take what looks like Isle of Man legs? So we're very slowly cycling, or like slow-mo walking in the air. Arms come out to the sides, either at the sides or parallel with your shoulders. Really stretching up into the heels. And moving the dog out of the way. Stretching up into the heels. Thank you. If you want to, you can bring your heels lower towards the floor. So they're just, again, walking on the moon. Don't be too quick. This is not about finishing the poses and getting to the next one. It's about releasing the tissues of the belly and bringing the body into a state of a moving relaxation. Let's reverse that. That'll be good for the old neurons of the brain. Feels very unusual to take that the other way. And again, if it's too taxing, then just reverse it back again. Again, feel as though your feet are active here. You can try and be toe dominant. And then be heel dominant. Push it so we've got more of a pointed ballet foot. To cycle this invisible sky bicycle. And then we've got a heel foot. Again, very gentle in the tummy, so you'll feel the stomach engage, but try not to over engage. If you're feeling it shouldn't too much, then just, if you're feeling it too much, just make your bicycle circles a little bit smaller. And then slowly bringing that back to stillness and drawing the feet back to the floor. We just rest again, feeling the weight of the feet, the heaviness of the hips, the weight of the spine. And then let's move to a position where I don't know, hopefully you can see, is that we're rocking the pelvis back and forward. So we're drawing the body forward and backwards. So we've got this arch of the back, which is when we're in neutral, we'll feel that we could probably slide our hands underneath. And then from here, can we think of gently tucking the pubic, or drawing the pubic bone forward, and we'll flatten that hand. Then can we almost let go, and on an inhale, let the hips come forward. So we've got a huge bridge underneath the arms. And as we exhale, we draw the navel gently towards the heart so that the navel is moving up and down and taking the tailbone to tug towards the inner knees, say. And we just rock through that movement, making an arch in the lower back and softening the arch or flattening the arch of the lower back. Notice how this ripples up into the tummy muscles. We feel it through the sacrum. So before we were rocking the sacrum from side to side, and this time we're rocking the sacrum from front to back. Nice. Come into a neutral spine here, so just naturally where you would be. And then can you think of just lifting the hips, pressing into the feet and drawing your bottom off the floor, making sure you might need to wiggle or walk your head slightly towards the top of your mat or towards the back of your mat, and then slowly coming down. And again, how does that feel if we scoop on up a little, holding of the belly button, but again just a 2 or a 3 out of 10, finding the big toes doing some work, and then again drawing down. Maybe we lift on the inhale and we lower on the exhale, and we lift on the inhale. Again, if you haven't put a cushion underneath your head, or even if you have and you're feeling a restriction in the neck, does that cushion or blanket want to come away now, or are you quite happy to keep it there? And then from here, as we inhale, we're going to reach the arms to the sky, lift the hips and draw the body back. Exhale, rolling the spine all the way down, bringing the arms back down to the sides. Inhale, lift, open the arms, palms to the sky, over the head if we can. Exhale, lower the body, lower the arms. Inhale, lift, tailbone tucks, lift and open. Exhale, lower the body, hands, draw back. Inhale, lift and open. Maybe stay here. Again, find a softness in the back of the eyes, the teeth and the jaw. Softness through the shoulders, which may mean bending the arms a little. And as we lower each of the vertebrae towards the earth, maybe that's accompanied by an exhale breath, and we bring the hands back to center. Bring the knees in again, just letting the weight of the knees draw in. Maybe we just want to freely circle that right knee now. So if your body needs, you can hold on to the knee, like a little skull cap on the knee, if the body is happy. And again, we've changed the shape of the spine, so maybe you want to invite your little head blanket back in again. Let's rotate through that right hip. Maybe one direction for 4 rotations, and then the other. And then bring in that left one. One way for 4. And clockwise or anti-clockwise, whichever way you did the other. And then bringing both hands onto the knees. Can we send the knees forwards? Open them up as though we're making the shape of butterfly wings with the knees. Inhale, send the knees forward so that the knees move forward, and where the hands can't reach anymore, we then open the knees wide and draw them in towards the center. Just working that with the breath, inhaling them down, exhaling them open, inhaling them down and exhaling them open, inhaling them down, exhaling them open. And then bringing the body to the floor, we're going to extend the legs wider and soften the body to the earth. Take the arms out to the side. Allow the shoulders to rest, the knees to rest, feet to drop away, hips to drop away. Feeling your whole self grounded. As we inhale, can we maybe use the heels to rise up and draw ourselves in so we can gently peel the head off the floor. And then exhale, let's roll to the right side. Making a little pillow with your hands. Don't worry, we're not going to be here very long. And as we inhale, can we open? Maybe the feet come to the floor again. Exhale, roll to this fetal position on the left side. Nice. Open. Exhale, adrenal gland activation as we open up, spreading the arms and the legs, sliding them across the floor. Exhale, sliding them into the center, rolling over to the left. Inhale, open wide, sliding the legs and the arms wide, just making sure we've got space. Exhale, bringing it over. Inhale to the beginning, sliding the heels to, just so that if we slide the legs, we're not asking too much of the muscular body. Over to the left and opening again. Sliding to the right and holding it here before slowly bringing the hands up, supporting the head with the neck and calming up to seated. And
And just lying, taking the legs wide and allowing the body to gently drop in here. Nice. I'm just going to play with the filters on my phone. So just finding that forward feeling as we drop forward into those bent knees. And then inhale, can we take the hands behind and just lift the chest, feet are on the floor. Exhale, folding forward again. Inhale, hands behind, lift the chest. Exhale, folding forward, pushing off the hands, folding forward again. Thank you, Basil. It's okay, it's okay. Inhale, opening up. Leaning back a little more, bending the elbows. Exhale, folding forward. Obviously, if this doesn't feel good, just take little movements, even just rocking back and forth. We don't have to bring the hands to the floor if it feels too much on the shoulders. Dropping into the hands, elbows bend. All the arms can be straighter. Lifting through the chest to create this space in the front body. Space as well in the lungs, esophagus. Again, this is quite nice to create in that space by the stomach, that if you occasionally get acid reflux. And then exhale, drawing it down. And inhale, coming back. Exhale, dropping it down. Very gently moving to what we're going to call Z legs, which is going to involve the dog moving out of the way. Dogs know how to lie on the floor. So just taking one knee forward, it doesn't matter which side. So let's take, I've got my right knee forward and my left knee backwards. And we've got Z legs, so that we should be comfortable here. If we're not comfortable here, to go on and take that pillow underneath you or a blanket underneath you so that we can find the hips a little bit higher. That will just make this a whole lot easier. And again, just be mindful, this might be a too deep a stretch in these quads and the upper legs muscles, so we can always straighten one leg out. That's totally fine. And from here, I wish I'd bought a brighter coloured leggings now so that you can see. So from here, with either the legs straight, can we just begin to, the dog wants to be wherever I am. So we're going to keep those legs in Z legs and just begin to move the legs if I move. So I'm just going to begin to twist them the other way. So this is where you may find that actually to be static you need a cushion, but once you start moving, that cushion starts to crumple up. So I'm just gently moving from side to side. Thank you, Basil. I'm sorry, but you can join in. Nice. And again, you might find that as you take this move that you begin to glide forward. That's okay, we can just glide ourselves backwards. And then can we come to the opposite side that we began, and again take that a moment. You can take your hands supported and just again settle in. I'm going to take this into a deeper twist if Basil will move. So we're going to start to move over to the right side again, and then this time we're going to slowly begin to draw the abdomen towards that right side, towards the right knee. And then inhale, just taking the arms back, maybe just one hand back to begin with, left hand drawing back. Exhale, over towards the right knee, and inhale, opening back.
Exhale towards the right knee, inhale, opening back. Exhale towards the right knee, inhale, opening back. This time as we come forward, we're going to take all the way over, so bringing the forearms down or the forearms onto a cushion. And straighten that leg away if that feels nicer, that left leg can straighten away. Just again, like a restorative pose. Feel it in the hip flexors. Can you soften again the jaw, the back of the head? And then inhale, coming all the way back. I'm going to twist that the other way. And the same thing, arm comes out, dropping forward, arm comes out, dropping forward, little gentle twists, squeezing and soaking not only through the spine, but also through the abdomen and the digestive system. Bring both arms in if that feels good. And then taking that over to the side and dropping that in again, straightening that right leg and just dropping through. You can take your cushion. And deep breath in here, deep breath out. And deep breath in here, deep breath out. As we come back here, we're going to come back to that center fold. I'm going to show you sideways. You don't need to. Folding. And then let's take the legs over to the right again. Come back to that center fold. Take the legs over to the left again, hands come down. Maybe you draw your feet further away from each other. Again, nothing too deep. Don't try and, bring too much of a torsion into the body. And come back to that center fold. And from here, can we just begin to hold onto the back of the legs, again coming towards that little squat-like move, holding the knees. And then, if it's possible, can we open the legs and close? So we're just taking it open and closing the body in. I kind of call this the jellyfish, because we find, again, this undulation. If it's too much in the abdomen, or if it maybe feels lovely in the abdomen, feel free to bring your hands, or just take one leg at a time. So you can do your arms with one leg. Or you can bring your hands and do two or one, whatever. Just you've got lots of variations to play with there. And then let's come back to that forward fold again. Becoming aware of your big toes. Squeezing into the inner thighs. Dropping into the belly. Allowing to create space for the belly. And then sliding those heels away to come back to, as though you're pushing the wall away. Can we take the hands out here, parallel with this body? And so we're pushing a wall, an invisible wall away. Legs are active, so we're squeezing the heels away from us, like we did in those bicycle poses. And the shoulders, although are coming forward of the body, they're actually drawing back towards neutral. So we're drawing this glenohumeral joint back, the shoulder blades gently down. And can we again releasing through the jaw and the neck, remembering we don't want to bring tension into the body. And from here, let's cross on over the legs and come onto tabletop for a moment. As we come towards inversions, so inversions are really common to the system, especially if we've had diarrhea. And can we come to downward facing dog? So again, from here, we're going to come into tabletop, knees are down, a little round through into the back of the shoulders as we pull the navel in and draw the heels towards the floor to come into this triangular shape. And let's pad the feet, feeling the feet activated, and remember the feet, those big toes, and we can physically see a line from the big toe to the inner ankle, from the inner ankle to the inner knee, from the inner knee to the inner leg. This is where the, this is where we call the hip flexors come in, and we can rock from side to side. And if you're feeling nice and active, and if not, then so I'm going to give you, if you're feeling a bit poop today, can you just come and we're just going to take this little cat-cow move. So this is if we're not feeling great, we're just going to round through and let this be a breath out. And then as we breathe in, can we drop the chest and heart? Again, you don't have to go nuts. You don't have to go crazy. Just feel the movement of the neck spine to the tailbone spine through the rippling effect of the body, of the spine itself. So from the edges of the spine, we call this sacrocranial work. So this is where we're going to stay if we're not feeling great today, and we'll just continue here, even though I'm chatting over what's going to come next. When you're feeling a little fitter and a little healthier and a little stronger, see what it feels like to pull the navel gently in. Again, 2 or 3 out of 10. Let those knees lift up and draw the heels towards the floor. And then can we think of pushing back into the shoulder blades? So we're going to find that what we'd call cat pose. So the navel draws in, chest towards the shoulders, and we ripple forwards and then bend the knees and ripple backwards, back into downward facing dog. Nice. Push into the shoulders. We're going to call this piking the body, bending the knees and rippling back. Coming forward of the shoulders, bending the knees, rippling back. Coming forward of the shoulders and then coming all the way forwards. Walking the feet towards the middle of your mat. And just stay in here. Maybe if the wrists find the floor, that's lovely. And no, Mum's got bricks, so if you wanted to bring in her bricks, I should have said that at the beginning, but you've probably got them out anyway. And then just allowing the head here. Maybe we hold the elbows. Maybe we bring a little sway in. And then very slowly, can we roll up? Rolling all the way up, maybe feeling the touch of your body, and we're reaching the arms to the sky. I'm just going to gently move. Sorry, Basil. Exhale, rolling all the way down. Inhale, let your fingers find your body, sending lovely sensations of this sense of touch. Notice where there's bare skin, where there's clothed skin. Rise up. Exhale, again, like water, like in a Turkish bath, the hammam water drawing over you. And then we inhale and rise. And from here, let the hands draw down and begin to freely twist the body. So we're just allowing the arms to maybe tap the kidney region or tap your bottom. Just finding this gentle twist. Swinging the arms, keeping the eyes open and soft, letting the neck and head freely move without too much of the brain telling the body where it is. It's a very natural primal move to swing, to sway, ape-like. And then coming back to center, to stillness, to less movement in the body as we bring the hands one over each other to the heart. And coming back to that idea that we said at the beginning about loving your belly, can you remember that? Can we just imagine all the love that we give to others, can we send that love to ourselves? And the movement of getting rid of something can be physical through the body, can also be mental through the head, and this sometimes feeling of not being loved enough can have a sense of stress in the body, whether we're consciously aware of that or not. So regardless of maybe whatever your education, the sum of your knowledge is saying, just regardless of just say, I love you, I love myself, I love this body and how it allows me to carry on through life, to see this beautiful planet. And asking of your body what it needs rather than what the mind thinks it needs. And be open-minded enough to listen to its responses. And from here we're going to reach to a little chair position. So a gentle position, so we're sitting back on an invisible chair. And then folding forward again and again. Can we find maybe the feet want to come a bit further apart, maybe they want to come much further apart. I'll show you this sideways. And can we begin just to take the weight from one foot into the other foot. The shoulder, hands can be on the floor, hands can be on a brick, or if this feels too much, you can gently walk towards the sofa, and we can take this movement on. This is pretending to be your sofa. I'm going to bring it towards the chair. And as we become more adept, as those hips begin to open more, we can begin then to fold a little deeper, maybe onto the forearms. And then when we're feeling it comfortable here, because this is maybe a practice that we'll do more than once, we will then bring the hands towards the floor. So keep staying where you are now, either on the floor, or if you're on the sofa, then slowly again, really mindfully transition towards the front of the screen again. And we're going to take that movement, feet out wide, so your toes are turned out. And just again, if you can, begin to pad the feet. Padding the feet, sending ripples up through the inner thighs, up in towards the belly. Bringing the hands to the heart, to a stillness and a shimmery shake. So we're just going to be, again, kind, almost swirling through the hip girdle. Taking the hands together, and inhale, reach those arms right up to the sky. And as we exhale, can we bend deeply, bring the fingers towards the floor. Again, don't worry if they don't get there. Inhale, we're going to do this a few times. Exhale, bending the knees. If you want to, you can come up and straighten the legs. It gives them a little break. As you exhale, fold them down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, move towards your left knee. And move towards your right knee, straightening the other one. Move towards your bent knee, straighten the other one. This time we're going to mess things up. We're going to straighten one leg, bend the other, and move towards the straight leg. I'll give you a moment to do that again. So we're going to straighten one leg, bend the other, and move towards the straight leg. Rise up, swap over the knee bend. Move towards the straight leg. Try not to lock out the knee joint. So if you're naturally locking it out, put a little gentle bend back in. Rise up, straighten the other leg, bend the left or the right, whichever way you've gone. And then slowly come up to center. I'm going to take the hands on the hips. And from here, can we draw? I feel like this is a dance move from the 1970s. We're going to draw the chest like diagonally, so we're not taking it right to the thigh, we're not taking it in front, we're taking it 45 degrees towards the corner. And then rise up, twist the feet if you need to, or Reposition the feet again, it's same thing again, bend the knee, take the chest and rise up. And then just thinking, can we draw the elbow to the shoulder, elbow to the opposite shoulder, elbow to the shoulder, elbow to the opposite shoulder, elbow to the shoulder, and to the opposite. I'm sure there was a dance in which this move came in. It was a lot faster, of course. I'm sure you'll be able to tell me, and then every time this move, you can play that music. And then from here, let's just gently take the hands towards the floor, bring your feet in, bend the knees to come down. And we're going to come down. I've got some options for you here. So the first one is that we come down by the sofa, and we take the legs wherever's comfortable, cross-legged, legs out to the side, picking yourself up onto a big cushion. This is going to be pretending to be my big cushion. And then gently just let the head and be rested on the arms rested on the sofa. And then maybe we either scoot the bottom back, or in my case it's much easier to scoot the sofa forward. I know that's not realistic, but we let the weight of the belly drop and just either turning the mid-brow to the sofa seat, or turning your head one way and just allowing the belly to drop, completely supported here. As we move again towards the stillness, towards a dropping and surrendering, towards a letting things be. I'm aware of the breathing body, and then just taking the head the other way, very carefully lifting the chin away and taking it the other way. Notice if the knees need some padding, or maybe we just need to bend the knees. Notice if you're holding the tummy and we need to let go of the tummy. Maybe we need to reposition the body, and then that's totally fine. And if this feels uncomfortable, if the height of the sofa isn't right, I'm going to give you some alternatives. So wherever we're transitioning or moving to, can we just be really mindful and slow in the way we transition and get our props? So we may wish to take the legs crossed and taking one cushion or two, and the same thing depending on what's available. We can take bricks or whatever props we've got, books again, drawing ourselves down here, letting the head rest, allowing the jaw to be soft. And we could even just come back to the position where we were right at the beginning, or we've been there a few times with the feet slightly apart, so just ever so bigger than hip distance apart, the knees bent, and then allowing yourself to draw into this shape. So either sofa or supported on cushions, or here, wherever we are. Stay here for a couple of breaths more. I'm going to pop my sweater on because I'm feeling that as we move in towards stillness, it's getting cooler, and I want the body to retain its heat. As much as this practice is about being cool, about bringing the cooling qualities into the fire of the belly, this digestive fire, we call this Agni, and when it's too hot, we get this excess fire. So the practice today is very slow and cooling. When you're ready from here, can we begin to emerge from wherever you are? I'm going to give you a couple more options for the next move. So a couple of things we want to do is
the idea of when we were here on the sofa, and you can do that on your knees. You could just find this lovely little pose. This is also really nice as long as you're comfortable with the stretch in the tops of your feet. So this could be a variation. Apologies if you've already just done that pose. You can always come back another day. So imagine that this bit now is the top of the sofa. So very mindfully, can we move out of it? Imagine like snail's pace moving. One leg comes, we find the floor, we move into, I'll show you this side, we bring the foot, we find a bend in the knee, we pick up the foot closer to the body to rise on up. And we slowly move towards the back of the sofa. And we do a similar thing, so I'm wanting the belly to release. So this is the highest end of the sofa, around the back of the sofa. And we can do the same thing. You can also do this, if you're making a cup of tea and you just feel like a little stretch, you can do it on the back of the kitchen chairs, or on the kitchen counter. A little bend in the knees and a letting of the belly drop here. If you feel that you need some more support, you can bring one foot forward and one foot backwards. And again, let the belly surrender. And whatever we do with one leg, let's do that with the other. Again, don't lock out the knee joints. Feet can be, if your legs are in this position, one foot in front of the other, then that's fine. If that feels too much on the calves or on the legs, you can take your legs wide, bend in the knees, dropping a little bit further forward so you're feeling fully supported, and let the weight of your belly go. Or equally, if you have one of those big balls like the gym balls, you can do that the same. So sit on the floor and take your arms around the balls. Whenever you're ready, we're slowly going to transition away from that sofa pose. We're going to come into a couple of moves again. So I'm going to bring you one which is quite strong. So again, you can opt to leave it for today. We're going to again find ourselves with our bottom close-ish to the sofa, so that we can bring our feet up onto the sofa. And just for the nature of this, I'm going to slide that pillow away and bring the feet onto the sofa. This is really nice as a, Basil, as a release in the lower back too. Stay there, it's okay. So, and then if you want to, you can begin to lift the lower back and stretch up into the knees as we lift up a little higher here. And if it feels too much in the shoulders, please come out of it straight away. Don't feel as though that just because it's hard, it's doing you good. In this case, I'd say maybe we steer away from that narrative. So can we, again, you may want to scooch your bum a bit closer and press down gently into the hands. Use the heels on the sofa and rise up. And I've got a nice solid surface here, so if you find yourself slipping on the fabric of the sofa, it could be because you're wearing socks. It could just be because it's slippy. So we're moving towards an inversion, so where usually the head is higher than the heart. So in these poses, the hearts. We're not Doctor Who. The heart is higher than the head, so it just changes the way blood is pumped. It's very calming to the system. Really good for the body after maybe an episode of diarrhea. Again, kind of really calming and cooling the area of the digestive system. I'm going to come all the way down. Some even find that quite intense in the legs. And I'm wanting this practice to be quite restorative. And then slowly we're going to draw ourselves the other way again. Another inversion. We're going to slowly rotate the other way. And this time I'm going to bring
that big cushion in towards us, and can we just take it to the side as we come back, lift the hips like we did before, come into that sort of ported bridge. And you can't see because Basil's in the way, but where Basil's head is, I've just slid that big cushion or bolster, if you have one, underneath my bottom, so that I can draw my knees up again. And again, this time I'm in a supported. This is like a lovely supported. So it's got this lovely. I've got this lovely. It looks like I'm going over the head of the dog, but this lovely curve in my lower spine now because it's raised up, which allows the knees to come into the chest much more sweetly. So again, it's coming towards an inversion, and that Apanasana, that knee pose, that little squat pose. And then from here, maybe the legs wish to straighten, and maybe they find your sofa like so. And this is a place where we can freely hang out. If it feels too much, or you can come back out slowly, transition, build a cushion on top of the sofa so that wherever the surface is, your feet can find it. You can also play and massage the legs here, bringing in the massage lymph glands, which are our secondary filtration system of the body. If our lymph is congested, we often feel it here when we're not very well under the sides of the jaw. So your doctor will probably say, oh, your nodes, your lymph nodes are swollen. This is a sign that those valves have got blocked because it's fighting off a disease or virus. So that just by massaging the legs behind the knees, the inner thighs, you've got lots of lymph glands, also down the neck, underneath the armpits, underneath the breast, and down into the middle of the hip creases of the legs are very good places to just almost to help. So your blood and heart and lungs are a filtration system. Obviously, the blood is filtering out viruses and bits of foreign material all the time that we sweat out, we breathe out, we excrete out. But the heart has got the blood has got a heart to pump it round, and the lymph system, like a secondary blood system, doesn't have a heart. So massaging the legs, this is just a way of being the pump. So it's pumping around to help that lymphatic system of your body, to help the secondary filtration system of the blood. And then very slowly bring one foot down to the floor, bring the other foot down to the floor. And either you can glide and slide over, but as this is quite a big bolster, I'm just going to lift my hips again and then find my body on the earth. And this time I'm going to take the bolster to the sides of me, and again moving freely here. I'm going to take something from my head, so I'm going to take this blanket for my head. If you've got a cushion, even better. And I'm going to bring my arms in, so if I've got another blanket or something I can hold, if not I'm just going to hold myself, and then take the cushion that's big enough and high enough to hold the knee joint and the ankle joint, so my bolster's perfect size. And then just lying here, sliding this left hip, the under hip is my left hip, just lifting up and sliding that leg away, so I just completely release the whole left side. In a little kind of raised, supported, one-legged fetal position. Again, repeating these patterns of drawing the knees in towards the belly, the elbows in towards the belly. It's very fetal, like supported, gentle squat as we close off the eyes. We're going to be here for at least 3 minutes.
Bringing the awareness back to the breath again. Allowing parts of the body that find the earth to soften there. To trying to free the mind from the chatter. To have within our yoga practice today, but within our lives, stiram and sukham, steadiness and ease. To not feel that everything is a race, but everything is to be enjoyed. Not everything needs to be done in one day. The world will wait. And this is really hard in a world that's telling us to do things quicker. Being kind and gentle to this body is very productive, and the body responds. Being overly busy means we're busy in the mind, and the body responds by tightening in with tension that leads to the body being in a state of not really properly resting or digesting. We're in a state where the body is in the sympathetic nervous system all the time. We're more likely to play down the immune system. So the immune system, because of hormones, stress hormones, that it's not fighting off these little bacteria, little viruses, these little things that normally the body would just get rid of. Doesn't really, the immunity is compromised. Aware of your own self lying here on the earth. And if your hips are happy and you'd like to take this to the other side, then maybe just press pause and spend a few more minutes swapping your support around and doing this on the other side. And then when you are ready, we're going to move back to a seated position, carefully taking the weight of the legs, the weight of the head away by using the arms, and come up to a gentle seated position where you may wish to seat yourself up onto a pillow or even onto a bolster. Maybe taking a little bit of stretch and yawn and pandiculation. We took this really reaching and just bringing on a yawn you didn't even know was there, and bringing it on, and stretching it out one way and the other. Yawning, and it's really good for producing these chemicals called resolvines that eat up cytokines, and too many cytokines in the body, they're byproducts of the adrenal glands, can be very toxic to the body. So having a good old yawn, and then take that yawn into a twist over one side. Take that yawn, we have got a yawn now, to a twist the other side, and bringing that to center. We're going to come a little closer so you can see. We're going to move towards a Brahmari breath, a bee breath.
So we're going to take and you can do this by just taking your fingers in your ears, but traditionally we take the index fingers to the brow, then the next fingers over to the eyes, the next fingers, the ring fingers to the side of the nose. I can't speak or see. And then these to the little fingers to the side of the mouth, so that we're kind of blocking the senses. And we take a deep breath in. And we take a hum sound, so we just take a hum until the exhale breath is released completely. And Basil seems to like this one. You're going to do that again. This time put the fingers in the ears, and then you find your internal B sound, Brahmari breath. Very cooling, nurturing to the nervous system as the body responds to the vibration and the tone of this sound, and the dogs respond to it too. We're going to do that 2 more times, so just 1 breath in. And if you don't want to bring the hands over your face, just taking the mid pointy fingers into your ears and closing off the eyes. Inhale, and all of the sound is done on the exhale. And release. I'm going to take the mudra, index fingers and little fingers are free. While the middle fingers fold towards the thumb, we turn that upside down, send it onto the knees. And just take a few breaths here with a straight spine, or maybe if you're tired, leaning against the side of the sofa to support the back. You invite in this cooling nature into the body, again to cool this digestive fire. Deep breath in, deep breath out. Deep breath in. Through the nose, expanding the belly and the sides of the ribs. Exhale. Maybe bringing in noise. Slowly releasing the mudra, bringing the hands together at the heart. In a little bow to each other in our shared practice today. And namaskar or namaste. And thank you for your practice. I hope you feel great.